Okay, here we are in a High Elves campaign on SFO. We've got our boy Eltharion here, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at the three main aspects of differences between SFO and vanilla. We're going to look at the High Elves portion, we're going to look at Eltharion specifically, and then we're going to look at Athel Tamara, because there are some very significant changes to the way that works. So on the High Elves front, if you go to a major city, apart from the graphical changes here, there's nothing really changed here, but you can see that are they in here? Yeah, there's a couple of different units here. Lion Chariots of Grace. There was something else I saw, but I don't think I was going to recruit. Oh, here we go. Look, we've got the Shadow Warriors. Right, they've got their own little icon there instead of what they had before. But all that seems to be pretty standard. There are changes to the infrastructure buildings. I think the most important ones are these two. This one here only generates 50 income, and then instead of 100. And then this here, 10 growth, I think it's 13 in vanilla, something weird. And then this one here generates a little less gold, so there's less gold coming in for you as a high elf. I know being rich is one of the benefits there. There may well be some other changes in here. This thing here, it's a new building as far as I know, Library of Hoth. But I don't normally get to that sort of building by the time I've quit. I normally quit at short victory, and many of the cities aren't going to get to this kind of level. You still have access to the heroes, the noble here. So this is a little bit different. Here we've got, look, Gate Guard Garrison, we've got Gate Guard, another new unit. So there's a little more flavor here in that sense. There are some major changes down here to the commandments, and these are very beneficial if you're going to play as High Elves. So you've got your normal stance here, right? March. What other ones do we have? Can we even... Yeah, we can't do a bunch of them because she's stuck in the building. So this one here, this one requires no penalty to movement range. Note that. Oh, it's a 25% penalty. Oh, I didn't think there was one. So there you go. Casualty replenishment rate and experience. But being a nation of spellcasters, this is the best one here. This one is the one that has no loss to movement range. So previously I think it was 10% in vanilla. This one giving you 30 power reserve per turn, experience gain of 25, lower miscast, and then speed for all the spellcasters. That's a bump over what it used to be. I believe the experience gain was 20 and power reserve is 15 or 20. So this is excellent for that reason, and mostly because you don't lose any movement. So there's literally no reason not to run around like this all the time as elves for standard movement. Sure, you lose a little vigor loss, but I don't really think that that's a major issue. Something else that I had noticed, I'm sure it's not just Eltharion. If you look at his spell casting, when I was casting spells during a battle, there was a miscast chance. Now it might have been because I was fighting Wurzag. He may have done that. I'm not sure, but yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah, look at up there. No, you can't come over there. Look in the list there. Range, duration, cooldown, miscast chance 20%, and then for the regular spell, 40% for the overcast one. So there is a miscast chance for all spell casting. I'm not sure if that's SFO wide. It's definitely for the High Elves. Okay, let's take a look over here now at Eltharion himself. Took a look through these stats. These are all pretty much the same as they used to be. There are a couple of minor changes. There's some stat changes here. So speed 25%, AP damage 50, It's 15% speed and 55 in vanilla. Warden here, it's minus 10% and minus 1 wall and garrison buildings, plus 10 armor when defending. So that's 25, minus 25, minus 2, and plus 15. So that's been nerfed a little bit for the basic. And then it's up a little bit here for the second level. There are now 3 levels of speed of Eltharion instead of just the 1, so that makes a little better defending. This one, which is just for his Mistwalker units, it's at the top level, it's 40, 20, and 20 here for vigor loss, weapon strength, and missile strength. Here you can see it's 20, 20, and 20, so that's been nerfed a little bit. This one I haven't gotten up all the way, but you can see there's 2 levels of breakup on the walls. The first one is a little bit of armor and then unending volley, and then this one more armor and unending volley. Now what I need to verify here is, notice it doesn't have the caveat that that's for 1 unit. The original setting for breakup on the walls gave every archery unit in the army the unending volley, which is the ammunition reload. Now in vanilla it says limited to 1 unit or 1 unit only. So every 20 whatever seconds it would happen. 25 seconds it would happen. Okay, there it is. Affects the allies in range 1. So that's still the same. And it's 3%. So, you know, he's still a siege master. Slight changes here. Maybe some on this stat line, I don't know. Those don't seem to be as big of a deal. Finally, we're going to take a look in here. In Athel Tamara, this is a really major change. Each of these things tends to have additional properties. All of these things are going to have, for example, Ladriel's Blessings plus 5, and then there's usually an additional bonus to it. So if you took up at the top left here, I think this one, so you get Ladriel's Blessings, and you get what is it, upkeep reduction, I think, something like that. You can see here there's also construction time, -1 for province capital buildings. That's a really big deal. Okay, recruit rank for Mistwalker units is probably the same. If you look in this one, you're getting your Ladriel's Blessings, you're getting your unit capacity, but you're also getting armor and you're getting weapon strength. And down here you're getting 8 additional units and 5 Ladriel's Blessings, but you're getting armor and weapon strength. So every one of the upgrades, okay, has an additional benefit, and some of them are really ridiculous. Here, unit capacity, but you're also getting range and missile strength, adding 10% range to Mistwalkers, some of whom have 180, and I think that one unit has 250 range. It's just insane. And then in here, Ladriel's Blessings, okay, leadership and melee defense, but this one is not great as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really do the melee defense for them. Some outstanding benefits over in here. So in here, what you would normally have get is the +5 Ladriel's Blessings, and then the 2 influence. But now look, here on recruit rank, ambush defense, local recruitment capacity. And this one here, okay, Ladriel's Blessings, which is normal, but then you've got corruption, growth, and control. And then finally down here in the interrogation chamber, which I've added the second one, you didn't just get the bonus experience, you're getting 10% missile damage, okay, for characters, and then 10% unit experience. So some major changes to that one. I think, oh, the cat's going crazy again. I think what we might have done here, since these upgrades are still 5 each, maybe make that 6, or maybe make the second level of upgrade for each one 6, because I think some of these are really, really, really strong. Okay, let's take a look at one last thing, which is just the generic wood elf thing, not wood elf, high elf thing instead of Eltharion. If you look at the commandments, so under commandments you have your normal ones, right? You have your Reaver patrols, but I think that's been altered. I don't ever use that one except when I need to use it as Eltharion. Then we've got control. This is completely and totally new. It's got the income from trade tariffs, but the High Elves before did not have a control commandment. And not is it just control, it's +6 control. This is really good for the Badlands, because even though it's green, there's a lot of stuff nearby which is not green. I mean, you don't really want to come down here as Eltharion, but you could potentially manage this much better now because you have that commandment. And then here, -2, but you could possibly do better there because the commandment of this one right here. Then we've got the building here. I believe that has improved. Construction cost and construction time and campaign movement rate. I think those numbers are slightly buffed. This is definitely nice. +2 recruitment capacity instead of +1. And then in this one you've got growth of 30. So these two in particular I feel are really, really well buffed. I think they're going to make they're going to mitigate the weakness of the buildings. So I like that as a change, because I've always thought that there should be better total province control commandments. Some commandments for some of the factions are pretty useless. There's a great skill I believe that Khalida has, which increases all commandment effects by 50%. Can you imagine this being control of 9 and this being growth of 45? I think those are some good buffs for her. So what do we have? We've got a couple of changes, debuffs here. The usual that units are a little bit more expensive to purchase, but around the same to maintain. But overall I think that the Athel Tamara changes here, and then the commandment changes generic to the High Elves are really, really good buffs to add a lot of power to the High Elves and to Eltharion as a leader. Eltharion is my favorite of the High Elves. I play him a lot. I alternate between staying at home and staying over here in the Badlands. Prefer staying in the Badlands. You know, you feel like you're alone, away from everything. You don't get quite the fun of the politics back home. But yeah, I've got Warden. He's going to stay in there until we've defeated Bloody Hand. This is, I get the extra one of these all the time, because I often find you need to put our boy Scarbrand in jail, and then our boy Warzag. If you have any other things that you know have changed, please leave them in the comments for other people interested in this faction and this leader. And we'll see you next time we do one of these.